Hi, this is Steve Ash and Marianne. We're here for Mother's Day to have memories shared with you on Helen Yeager, her mother. She passed to the Lord about 6 years ago at age 92. I think anyone who knew Helen would first remark that she was one of the kindest and most generous people they'd ever met. I think this really came from growing up during the Depression and then the World War II years, and then, of course, being a farm family. They were in charge of taking care of everything: the animals, the plants, the water supply, the food, the family, and friends. She had stories from the Depression of the time the hobos would come by from the nearby train yard. She would always give them dinner and a job to do. She worked for charities and the church religiously, and she was clearly a loving parent and wife in the Yeager family. And believe me, knowing the two guys in the family, that wasn't so easy.
That's for sure.
She never complained, even though she had a number of serious illnesses in younger life and older. And she was always doing things for other. I mean, she was in the 90s when she was cooking us dinner every evening for our extended family, scrubbing the steps to her apartment, hosing out the garage when we told her not to do that because the floor is slick, planting flowers, feeding the animals, and generally being pleasant and kind to everyone. Marianne?
Okay, well, my assignment was to kind of think about what was one of the most remarkable things Mother did that would demonstrate many of the things that he's just spoken about. And I got to thinking about it, and then I thought, I remember. I grew up in rural Indiana, not too far, Carroll County actually, and the county was that we were living in was really having a lot of difficulty finding qualified EMTs and people licensed to drive an ambulance. So, and of course, this is a really important need in rural America. People do get hurt out there, and especially these farmers that are operating around very dangerous environment. And so they couldn't find anyone. And my mom, she just couldn't take it any longer. So she just says, okay, you guys are desperate. I agree. I will go and be trained to be an EMT. I'll get certified and licensed to drive an ambulance. And she was in her 70s, okay? And my father was just going to hang her up. He just didn't think she should be driving the ambulance and those kind of things. But they didn't have anybody. And so, of course, that was the way she was. She said, well, I'll at least be there to cover until they can find somebody. So she sure did. She took her courses and she passed. And I believe, I'm almost certain they told me that she was the oldest person to ever take that exam and be qualified at that age to serve as the ambulance driver and EMT. So this really demonstrated kind of how she was, because nothing was in her way. I mean, she would whatever problems she faced, she tried to find a solution, and she would help anyone who needed help. She was a good mother. She had high expectations for all of us. She expected us to work, and she expected us to do well, and we didn't argue with her about it. But she was very loving and generous.
Right. That was Helen.
Yeah, that was it.
Sure was. Happy Mother's Day to you all.
Happy Mother's Day.